Hi, I'm Nathan Kaufman. I'm a New York City tour guide, and I'm here to show you some of my favorite aspects of this great city. Today, we're exploring the Commissioner's Plan of 1811. What we're really talking about here is Manhattan's gridded street plan, or gridiron. Long, straight streets with right angles that are numbered instead of named, which makes it easier to navigate the city, even if you don't speak English. Manhattan, one of New York's 5 boroughs, comes from the Native American word Mannahatta. It means island of many hills. And if you take a look around, there are no hills around anymore. You can imagine the endeavor it was in 1811 to flatten the entire island out and put our grid of streets down. This was called the Commissioner's Plan. There were 3 commissioners involved with this plan. Gouverneur Morris, a U.S. founding father, John Rutherford, a former U.S. senator, and the State Surveyor General Simeon DeWitt, most famed for his part in creating the Erie Canal. But to be honest, these guys weren't too involved. It really came down to just one man, John Randall Jr., who at the age of 20 became the chief surveyor on the Commissioner's Plan. By 1811, the plan had been approved, and it came down to Randall to do the hard part, creating the grid's template. In order to do so, he spent the next 6 years erecting almost 1,600 monuments on the exact locations of where the future street intersections would be. Topping off at 155th Street and beginning almost 7 miles downtown here on 14th Street on the west side and Houston Street on the east side. And yeah, it's pronounced Houston, not Houston. If you said you were hanging out on Houston Street, we got your number in a second. But you've been hanging out with me, so you know what's up. Marble monuments would be placed where land existed, and when there was bedrock, a small hole would be blasted with gunpowder, lead poured, and a 6-inch iron bolt placed inside. Here we are, almost 200 years later, and all the marble monuments are gone, but one iron bolt still exists, and it's here in Central Park. This is the iron bolt that would have marked the corner of 6th Avenue and 65th Street had Central Park never existed. The Commissioner's Plan was quite controversial in its day. Streets were laid out right through people's property, and even today, some people might find these long, straight streets a bit monotonous. But within the grid, variety can be found, and it's here, on Broadway. The Broadway, which was here long before any Europeans came to North America. Broadway was originally a pathway used by Native Americans for hunting and trading. It starts at the bottom of Manhattan and goes all the way to the top. That's almost 13.5 miles long. A New Yorker might find it funny if you said you were hanging out on Broadway, because that could be almost anywhere in the city. Broadway goes diagonally through the grid system, so when it hits an avenue, it creates a square, like Times Square, or Union Square, or Madison Square. And these squares might dictate the shape of our architecture, like the famed Flatiron Building, wedged between 5th Avenue and Broadway. When exploring New York City, it's very clear when you are on the grid or below it, like here in the West Village, compared to here on 5th Avenue. From Washington Square North, we can look uptown on 5th Avenue all the way up to 143rd Street in Harlem. That's almost 7 miles away. There is no other city in the world as populated as New York that allows for one to see for such distances this often. And one might say that it helps create an aspect of the New Yorker's attitude. We can see forever. We can do anything. It might be a little egotistical, but hey, it got us this far. I hope you've enjoyed this exploration of the Commissioner's Plan. I'm Nathan Kaufman, and I'll see you next time.